בוקר טוב לכולם. זה כיף להתחיל את הכנס הזה שבאמת כל כך הרבה עמלו עליו, וקודם כל זה לא מובן מאליו. אתם רואים פה צוות שלם, אתם רואים גם רק חלק מהצוות, אבל רובם סטודנטים, סטודנטיות, הם בעצם הרימו את כל היום הזה, ובאמת תנו להם כפיים על הדבר הזה, כל הכבוד לכם. אני רוצה להתחיל את כל הכנס הזה, מעבר לתודות שעשינו לכל הצוותים והכל, ובסוף אנחנו גם ניתן גם תודות לצוותים האחרים. אני רוצה להתחיל את הכנס הזה דווקא במשהו מעט שונה. יש לנו קולגה שהצטרף אלינו השנה, שמו מאוריציו מולינארי. מאוריציו, למי שמכיר אותו, למי שמגיע מאזור איטליה, השם לא זר. מאוריציו הוא היה העורך הראשון של עיתון לרפובליקה, אחד העיתונים החשובים, העורך הראשי של העיתון לרפובליקה, אחד העיתונים החשובים באיטליה, אחר כך גם הוביל את לסטמפה בכמה שנים, אחד העיתונאים הבולטים בתוך, אני אגיד את זה, בכל הספירה, בכל המרחב שעוסק בקונפליקטים, סיקר גם את נושא אוקראינה וגם את נושא התשיעי ל-9/11 וגם את הנושא של, אם אתם חושבים על זה, על מה קרה בכלל בכל הסיפור של אפגניסטן וכדומה, אדם שחי את הקונפליקטים, והייתה לנו באמת הזכות בשנה האחרונה, הוא הצטרף לסגל שלנו, והחלטנו שכאדם ש42 שנה היה חלק מהסיפור הזה, החלטנו שאין מתאים מכך לעשות שיחה ביני לבינו, הייתה רק בעיה קטנה באירוע, מאוריציו לפני שבוע וחצי עזב באופן פתאומי, כנראה עוד ראיון לרומא, ועכשיו השיחה מתנהלת ברומא, אז קבלו דקה וחצי ואז אחרי זה עוד הפתעה. מאוריציו, hi, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Oh, I think you are on mute. וזה הזמן להגיד, רגע, אני פותחת אותו מפה?
Thank you.
All right, now we can hear you. Can you see me? Is that okay?
Yes, I can see you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Fantastic. So first of all, for all the people, I'm going to speak English, since Maurizio doesn't speak Hebrew. We are going to use AI translation. I don't really know if the quality will be okay. Maurizio, it's a great pleasure to have you with us right now. And I think we have exactly 12 minutes, so let's delve into a lot of questions that we've been talking for so long, right? About AI, about the connection between AI and geopolitics. I want to start with your experience, right? You've been covering conflicts area for so long. If you have to think about AI and the transformation that it does in the geopolitics, is it really a big transformation? Is it just another incremental change that we've been talking for so long, that we've seen in the industry revolution, that we've seen with other technologies? What do you say about that?
It's huge. Let's just see what happened. President Xi and President Trump were about to meet in Beijing, and they had completely to change their agenda because on April 7, the public launched a new software, called Miners. Neither of them, nor Trump nor Xi, were expecting that. They were shocked for the simple reason that Miners is able to correct itself. Again, with Miners, artificial intelligence is able to correct itself. It means that there is no software around the world able to resist to Miners. So suddenly, these two leaders that were about to clash or to agree on Iran or Taiwan, they have to speak and they have to agree what to do with Miners. So the reality is that artificial intelligence is not only changing our lives, the geopolitics, the geoeconomics, is changing anything that we can predict in a span of 24 hours.
What does it mean about consuming the information, about perceiving the information? So I'll give you one example. Been following the Iran-Israel-United States war, or if you can call it a kind of geopolitical war. One of the things that I've noticed, as opposed to other wars, is that we don't really know what's going on. I mean, I can hear Trump saying something in the morning, I can hear Trump saying the opposite in the evening, same thing about the leader of Iran, and it seems like we are totally dependent on OSINT, on open sources that are coming from signals stuff. And that bothers me because AI is in the middle, right? We see fake news, we see AI being sent by the White House. They've been using TikTok and all the stuff and kind of AI mockery to kind of like mock the Iran leaders. What is all this doing to the way that we are basically conceiving and perceiving information? Is there no truth anymore?
Well,
he's speechless.
Thanks to which I can try to answer to your very important key question. The first angle is the character of the President of the United States. He likes to be what in Arabic we call it a majnoon. Translation of majnoon is not mad, it's unpredictable. He wrote and published a book in the late 80s, The Art of the Deal, where he basically theorized how to be a majnoon. Because if you are a majnoon, you take your counterpart by surprise, you expect his or her reaction, and then you act. So that's the way that he behaves. In terms of cyber war, that's the second angle, we have to face the reality. Since 2013, when General Gerasimov went to President Putin suggesting him a new cyber war, a new ivory war to make democracies to implode, we are facing a new warfare. A new warfare that we don't know, we are not ready to face after so many years. And so the autocracies, they have a strategic advantage against us.
So I'm thinking about the autocracy having an advantage, right? Because autocracy can do anything they want. The red lines don't exist there as we would think about them in democracy. So are you saying to me that democracy has a disadvantage? Now we are in a disadvantaged world. Should we act in actions that are similar to autocracies? But then what it means about us? It's a big question, right?
Okay, this is a crucial question. So just remind that when Adolf Hitler invades Poland in 1939, he takes not only the Polish army, but the French and British army completely by surprise. Because he invented the tactics, the military tactics, the blitzkrieg. The British army, at that time was the biggest army, took them several years to understand how to deal with the blitzkrieg. First to understand that the blitzkrieg was a new tactic, and then to decide how to take it, and they succeeded. Now we are in a situation in which they are fighting a new kind of warfare, completely, that is asymmetric. It means that the digital front line is part of the war. Okay, and they want to spread lies using fake news to make us implode. We, as democracies, we are not even realizing that this is a war. We are calling it with different terminology. We don't understand how aggressive they are. There is one university in Moscow that year after year is preparing thousands of young people to fight this kind of war. In the Chinese army, you have 1 million people, this is open sources, no secret. In the Chinese army, you have 1 million people managing AI data every single day.
So are you saying democracies are doomed? We can close this conference.
Democracies need to learn about the new kind of war. The first step that we have to take all together is to be aware about the new identity of this warfare.
But I want to provoke a little bit. We know by now that we are fighting against propaganda. We know that we are fighting against situations where it's really about the consciousness, right? About what we think, what we kind of like, what are the norms, what are the values that brings us forward, what are the attitudes. This is the place where right now the warfare is being held. what does it mean? Should we start lie? Should we start spreading disinformation as a tactic, as a strategy of democracies? Now, I'm not saying that democracies are not doing that. You and I know that all states are now intervening in elections, different elections. Of course, Russia, Iran, and China are the first three that are using disinformation campaigns and intervention campaigns. But still, it's not like, democracies, So I'm asking myself, is there a way for us to compete in this geopolitical, in this power kind of struggle when we are with our hands tied behind our backs? Because we can't do what they do. And this is where it starts. This big question is something that bothers me. Can we fight back? Should we fight back? I want to take us for a different direction for a second. I want to talk about your experience in the newsroom. Because some of the things that have been happening in the last years is actually, I would say it's a trust disorder, okay? Information disorder, but brings you to trust disorder. We don't trust anything anymore. We don't trust institutions. We don't trust the press. We don't trust, I'm saying that as a general saying. Of course, it's not what we want to say, right? You have to trust institutions. But it's something that keeps on coming, right? Because power interest wants us not to trust anything. How does actually the press, how come the news, how can the news fight this thing with taking into consideration that AI is there all the time, right? And it makes it more difficult. The cycle is more fast.
Karin, it's a pleasure to share with you and with you all a kind of secret, of course it's not secret anymore. One of the last assignments that I had at Republica when I was editor-in-chief was to lead the negotiation with OpenAI. We were part of a group of European publishing groups negotiating with them what to do with their technology. So the first question when we sat with them, when we started this confrontation, this discussion, we asked them, why are you doing this? You are OpenAI. You are the front line of artificial intelligence. Why do you come to us? We are the same way we need you, but why you need us? And the answer of some Altman people was because we need ethical contents. Without ethical contents, this young guy from California told us, we are going to build Frankenstein. We don't want to build Frankenstein. We want to be ethical. Now, this is the role of information. This is the role of the media. This is the role of the publishing, the democratic publishing. We have to help them not to be Frankenstein, but information technology frontline for the better of the world. So this means that we have to create intellectual contents that are ethical in the system of the innovation.
Since by the way, the whole session is we didn't plan anything, okay? It came together, the avatars, it was an idea of Maurizio, and the discussion on the Zoom, I said to him, well, you're in Rome, how are we going to discuss this? Nobody's interested in a Zoom conversation. And with the screen, so I'm going to go with another kind of spin, okay, in the show. I'm going to get one question from the audience to ask Maurizio. If anybody wants to ask Maurizio something. One? I can't see anything. Wait, here. Maurizio, one questions? No questions? Everybody are very shy. Maurizio, thank you very much and thank you for joining us.